Hello there, it's Laverne Henderson again, and I'm here to talk to you more about how to be happily single ever after. Last week, we talked about some of the pros of being a single person. Not having the added responsibility of a spouse or children was one of the main reasons that being single is definitely a positive thing. We also talked about, in addition to not having additional responsibility, just the freedom and the independence and the autonomy to pretty much do whatever you want with your time. And this week, I'm going to focus on some of the cons of being a single woman. Just to refresh you a little bit on who I am a recently retired woman. I'm 63 years old. However, in my 30s, I discovered that I have the gift of singleness. And I knew at that, even before then, I knew that I didn't want to have children, number one, but I was still a little maybe unsure about marriage. But once I hit my early 30s and onward, I knew that marriage was not for me. And a lot of that had to do with my introverted personality, being the eldest of four children and having a lot of responsibility growing up and having to take care of my younger siblings, and even being a pessimist, which is what I call a realist. The glass is always half empty for me. So when you combine all of that, I knew that even marriage was going to take more out of me than I was willing to give. So that's a little bit about my background. But let's talk about some of the cons of being a single woman. Now, as I mentioned, I've been single for decades, and I do not regret my decision one bit. In addition to the pros, which for me is a longer list, and that list definitely outweighs the cons, there are some cons associated with being a single woman. One of them, and it's a little disheartening, but it happens a lot. I can remember being in church, and sometimes, a man would come up and just to say good morning or hello, just being friendly. And it was almost as if his wife or girlfriend or whomever was could have been on the other side of the room, and her antenna would go up, and she would know that her man was talking to another woman, and she would fly across the room, you know, stand shoulder to shoulder with him, link her arm through his as if to let me know this is my man and you better back off. And then, of course, her husband or boyfriend would be a little embarrassed, and he'd have to introduce her to me as his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and then explain that, he was just saying good morning and we were just talking, blah, blah, blah. But that kind of treatment, it's funny that when you're alone at a public event or wherever, just, you are, people are watching you all the time. They're watching, number one, to see if a man is going to catch up with you, if you're just waiting for someone to join you, or if you have some girlfriends with you. And if neither of those things happen, if a man doesn't show up, if your girlfriends don't show up, then people are really going to zero in on you, and they're going to watch you because you're an anomaly. It's like, wow, this is a single woman. She came out to dinner by herself. She's at the movies by herself. She's at the beach by herself. She's at the opera by herself. Whatever it is, you stand out as a single person. Now, if that kind of scrutiny bothers you, definitely it is a con. It's a difficult situation to be in, and I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes you're acutely aware that people are watching you. You can see them out of your peripheral vision, And if you turn and look at them, they're going to avert their eyes, which basically gives them away and lets you know that they've been staring hard at this single woman who's out here living life unapologetically. And she's happy and she's calm and she's content. They're watching your body language, they're watching how you interact with other people. They are watching you 100%. So that's probably the biggest con right there, is being scrutinized and watched by people, total strangers. Another con is your friends and your family are probably, even though you've been single for decades, there may be certain members in your family or your circle who still feel the need to question you and to say, are you really happy? Are you sure? I have this friend, I have this coworker, I can hook you up. I can set it up a date if you want to. And they just don't believe and they don't get that you're not looking for anyone. You feel totally complete and whole by yourself. If you meet someone, fine. But you're not concentrating all of your energy into finding a mate or a partner. So that's another con. People tend to just always want to, partner you up or feel that you need someone to be totally happy and content. A third con is more personal, I think. It's more internal. If you don't feel happy and content with yourself, then that's going to impact your life. It could impact your work, your profession, your career. It could impact your relationships with your family because you're somewhat bitter. It can lead to jealousy of your friends and family members who are married or are in a relationship and have been for a long time. All of that can creep, it kind of bubbles up within you. And whatever energy you're carrying around, trust me, it's going to exude and it's going to go out and it's going to emanate from you. And people will pick up on that. Other men, even if they were interested in getting to know you and possibly developing a relationship with you, that negativity, that anger, maybe that low self-esteem, whatever it is you're carrying around, they're going to pick up on that. And in essence, you're going to become your own worst enemy. And no one is going to be attracted to you. So that's a major, major con. You have to be, and I say it over and over, and I will continue to say it, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. It takes a while. It's not easy. And there are times when you have to exercise that comfort even more. You have to push yourself to get out and do things by yourself and be okay with it and not emanate this sense of, not be desperate about anything, not be angry, not be sad, because no one is going to want to be with someone who exhibits those qualities. And you don't have to say a word. It can be written in your face. It becomes part of your body language. It comes out through your tone when you're speaking to others. So beware of those major cons to being a single person. I hope that this was helpful, and thanks for watching.